interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. We made it through another week. It's a Friday, the 8th day of May for 2026. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way. We've got all the news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. A lot of talked about again today. The Nebraska baseball team will play their final home series of the regular season this weekend. They'll battle Iowa at Haymarket Park. The Nebraska softball team, they picked up a win yesterday over Michigan in the Big Ten Conference Tournament down in College Park, Maryland. So the Huskers will move on to play in the semifinals today. And Nebraska will play Indiana at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we'll check out the results from that tournament coming up. Alexis Jensen of Nebraska has been named a top 10 candidate for the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association Freshman of the Year Award. The Nebraska men's basketball team is returning to Sioux Falls this year to play Boise State. The first piece of the schedule has been released with Nebraska going back up to Sioux Falls. Had district baseball getting underway yesterday. Locally, the Adams Central baseball team, they survived a scare from Fort Calhoun yesterday and knocking off the Pioneers by the score of 6-5. Adams Central plays in the finals this afternoon against Guardian Angels Central Catholic West Point Beamer. It'll be the Patriots against the Patriots this afternoon in the finals of the C6 district out at Duncan Field. The game we'll have here on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame at 3:45 this afternoon, and the season is over for the Hastings High baseball team. They lost to Elkhorn North yesterday, 13-0 in the B3 district tournament. So those are just some of the things we'll be talking about here this morning on Huddle Up. We've also got Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. He's going to join us at 7:30 this morning to talk ponies. We'll also get some comments from Nebraska baseball coach Will Bolt as the Huskers prepare for their final home series this season. So all that and more is coming up as you join us at the breakfast table here this morning as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. You're here, but I see your camera is taking the day off today.
Pretty much par for the course with technology this week for me. So, yeah, that's a nice cherry on top. Camera's on the fritz this morning. Working on it behind the scenes. No fear.
You had some problems yesterday.
I saw you. Still salty. I'm still salty.
Your final day of school out at CCC yesterday. Had a big day planned, and I saw your frustrations as you posted on social media yesterday. Some things just don't go according to plan. When you're dealing with technology, some things just don't go according to plan. And you and I both know that in the last year or so on this show.
Yeah, that was par for the course. We'll talk about it coming up in news too, but you may have or may not have seen the whole Canvas cybersecurity hack. I don't know if it was a student that got in globally and was trying to change up grades, but this is a tool that is used by campuses across the country that you can access from your phones. You can stay up to date on your grades. You can submit assignments from anywhere, any place, anytime. And yesterday, that when we had to deliver our final videos, our promotional videos for audio tech class, I was able to sneak in one because thank God somebody saved it on a Google Drive, and I'm damn near going to push the campus to just make everything Google for the next semester. But he saves it on a Google Drive. He's able to ship it to me. We got one video out of the, 3 that we were going to watch, and it just sucks. It sucks because the kids were excited about it. They put a lot of time and effort and energy. You know, we spent the last 3 weeks working on this final project, and they were excited to show it off. And Canvas just decided to take a shit, and cybersecurity hacks or whatever It was a whole damn afternoon, evening. I'm like, I can't hold you guys here until Canvas is working. I think it's finally up and running. I got an email at like 6:30 this morning that said Canvas is working now, and I'm like, cool.
You don't care.
I don't
You're
give
out
a
of
shit
school.
anymore. It's
Yeah,
done.
School is out. School is out for the summer.
So yeah, this little technology bug is
Maybe this has something to do with our bug here this morning.
it doesn't.
No, because mine's working.
Yours working. So
Mine's working. So, all right. Anyway, it's a Friday morning again. We're going to talk ponies today with Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. Will Bolt is going to have some comments coming up here in just a little bit concerning the Huskers' final home series for the regular season. Maybe not their last appearance of the season at home, as we get into a postseason play, but we'll see what happens there. A couple of news and notes I wanted to start off with. The Minnesota Vikings have agreed to terms with free agent receiver Juwan Jennings on a one-year deal. He's going to provide some receiver depth for the Vikings. He'll probably be the number 3 wide receiver for Minnesota this year behind Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. This deal is worth about $13 million. Jennings has battled through rib, ankle, and shoulder issues for the past year or so with the 49ers, but he still led the team in receiving touchdowns with 9 to go along with 55 receptions for 643 yards for San Francisco, but Jennings is moving on to Minnesota. The 2025 production followed a career year in 2024 when Jennings had 77 catches for 975 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was hoping to maybe parlay the back-to-back years into a big money extension with the 49ers. It never really materialized, and Jennings was a free agent, and now he is signed with the Minnesota Vikings. So Minnesota has their third wide receiver in the mix. And our friend is back in the news this morning, quarterback Aaron Rodgers. He's expected to visit the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend and is likely to play for them this season, according to some sources with the NFL Network and ESPN. There's no agreement yet between the Steelers and Rodgers at this time, but Aaron Rodgers has come out of his dark hole, and he's going to visit the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. Steelers are holding their rookie minicamp beginning today, so Aaron Rodgers is expected to make an appearance at the rookie minicamp this week in Pittsburgh and maybe start discussing playing again for the 2026 season. He's going to be 43 during the 2026 season. He signed a one-year, $13.65 million contract last year during June minicamp, and then led the Steelers to the 10-6 record last year, 16 starts, missing the Week 12 loss at Chicago after fracturing his wrist the week before to win against the Cincinnati Bengals. Finished the season completing 66% of his pass attempts, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So looks like Aaron Rodgers, according to our sources, and not our sources, but the NFL Network and ESPN, looks like Aaron Rodgers is coming back to play for Pittsburgh this season. I know we got some Pittsburgh fans with us on this show each and every day. Are they excited for that?
Hang on. Sorry, I'm trying to deal with 13,000 things right now. No. I think they want to move on. They want like a Will Howard era or
Nope, not gonna happen.
anything else. So I just think at this point, just give up, man. Like, it's okay to, again, I know you made the playoffs. I know he's a serviceable quarterback, and he's got an offensive line. Sure, I'm tired of the buzz, and every time he sneezes, it's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers sneezed. Just rest and retire. Let the young kids take over the program.
But he's back with Mike McCarthy now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy is the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, Rogers and McCarthy spent 13 seasons together in the Green Bay. Rogers won 2 of his 4 NFL MVP awards playing under McCarthy and a Super Bowl championship after the 2010 season when Green Bay defeated the Steelers in the Super Bowl. So maybe one last little reunion here in Pittsburgh between Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, and that's probably what he's looking for 2026, coming out of the hole and playing one more year with Pittsburgh and reuniting with Mike McCarthy, and maybe they can rekindle their magic that they had in Green Bay and provide that for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the upcoming season.
It's like everyone's doing that, getting the gangs back together. Kansas City's going through it, and Green Bay's going to have a good run at it. And there's another team that I think was bringing back some of their players from the past and trying to give it another run. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath.
Brought up the Kansas City Chiefs. They've had a coach that has been kind of in the headlines here the past couple of weeks. But a misdemeanor domestic battery charge filed last month against Chiefs defensive backs coach Dave Merritt was dismissed yesterday. Merritt was charged last month after he was accused of causing bodily harm to his daughter. He had pleaded not guilty, and he was cleared of the charges yesterday. So maybe a little old-school parenting resulted in that charge.
No comment.
Daughter obviously didn't like the way she was being treated by Pops. Evidently, someone filed a charge against him, but he was cleared of misdemeanor domestic battery. So no problems there. He'll be on the staff for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Charlotte Hornets have signed their head coach to a contract extension, Charles Lee, after he led the team to a 25-win improvement this past season. Ended up 1 win shy of snapping the franchise's playoff drought. Despite the fact that the Hornets began the season just 4-14 with some early injuries, Charlotte, after January 2nd, went 33-15 to finish with 44 wins this year. Hornets lost to Orlando in the second Eastern Conference play-in tournament game this year, falling 1 win short of snapping the longest current playoff drought in the NBA, which is at 10 seasons. So, Charlotte Hornets bringing back their head coach after he showed a little bit of improvement for this past season. So, those are some news and notes around the country as we get rolling here.
What about Oklahoma softball? Like, Nebraska is now in prime position to be the number 1 overall seed nationally for this tournament if we can continue to play good softball. Picked up the 4-2 win over Michigan. Oklahoma fell out in the SEC yesterday. That paves the way. I mean, that's a huge upset. And so now Nebraska softball is looking at a potential number 1 seed. That's big stuff.
That's for the regional next week. Obviously, Oklahoma will be in, but they won't be the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they fell in the quarterfinals the first time. I told you, man. I said the SEC is going to be wild. I said the SEC is, I said there's probably 16 teams that could knock off a number 1, and we saw it yesterday in the SEC quarterfinals. So that'll be a crazy conference tournament to watch for sure.
Nebraska really didn't roll over Michigan.
Not really.
4-2 yesterday in College Park.
Got it done.
Jordy Fromm, the winner in the circle, she threw a complete game, gave up 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. Nebraska beating Michigan 4-2. So Nebraska will move on. They're going to play Indiana in the semifinals today at 4. Hoosiers beat Washington yesterday by the score of 4-2. In the other games, Wisconsin defeated Oregon 11-9, and UCLA beat Penn State 6-1. So the other semifinal game today will have Wisconsin playing UCLA. That will be at 6:30 tonight, and then the winners will play for the championship on Saturday at 3. expected to be Nebraska and UCLA. So if you're looking for some good softball, if everything comes to fruition today, good softball matchup for your Saturday. Huskers and UCLA, probably it's a 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. So
I assume that you had baseball and probably didn't get to watch too much of the Nebraska-Michigan game. I actually was, dealing with Canvas yesterday, so I didn't get to watch any of the game. I'm curious on the crowd. I'm curious on attendance. I'm curious what it was like. I gotta think that just throws off your whole psyche as a competitor, as an athlete, as a player, and you're playing a game on a neutral site with for all intents and purposes nobody there. That's just an awkward environment to play in, and you have to be able to overcome that. And
it's like a practice.
It's like a practice, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to revert to practice mode. And what happens in practice? Well, we make some mistakes, and yeah, it would be hard to get up and play a game like that. So I'm glad that they're able to get the 4-2 victory, and then maybe able to get some more fans in attendance as we roll into the weekend. But God, there's so much going on, and graduation parties and everything else. So I don't know. Again, the whole move for sharing a site perplexes me. We've touched on it enough this week. We don't need to keep beating the horse, but of all places, College Park, Maryland, and you have right now the heir apparent to the number 1 overall seed nationally, and they're playing a conference tournament with no fans. And that's a shame.
I didn't see what the attendance was yesterday.
No, I didn't either.
So maybe we can look that up.
I can probably pull it up here.
Look that up.
Hit your headlines.
Throughout the day when we get rolling here. I'm sure there wasn't hardly anybody there. Maybe they let everybody in for free. Yeah, if you want to come, you need something to do today, come on in. We'll let you in for free. So anyway, Nebraska's softball will be going on this weekend in College Park. A game today against Indiana, and then hopefully a win today will send us into the championship tomorrow. Nebraska baseball playing their final. Oh, no.
Oh, so I just looked at the attendance numbers.
Did you find it?
384.
384 people?
Wow.
That's it?
Wow.
384 people attended the game?
Embarrassing. You got to look at that if you're the Big Ten. You have to look at that.
Oh, absolutely.
384 people for the number 1 team in the nation. Give me a break.
Wow. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect 384 people. That's terrible.
And they were probably counting people on the sidewalk as, oh, yeah, well, they count. They're close enough.
That's embarrassing.
That's awful. That's awful.
I get more than 384 people on a midweek Legion baseball game in Hastings, Nebraska.
Especially if it's Grand Island.
Oh, Grand Island or Kearney, we'd be well over that.
Yeah.
That's it? 384 people attended the game yesterday?
384. They probably counted employees, too. 384 your total attendance for Nebraska.
And concession
Michigan.
workers.
Concession workers.
Yeah, so that
birds.
That just puts a little nail into our conversation we've had all week long.
I think that pretty well settles it,
yeah.
right? Like we're not going to rotate this thing around anymore.
Yeah, like Maryland did not qualify for the tournament, so their fans don't give a damn about the Big Ten.
And there's nowhere else remotely even – there's not a university fan base that's remotely close to Maryland. Rutgers. I don't know how far that is away from Piscataway, New Jersey to Silver Springs, Maryland, or wherever the hell they play. College Park, Maryland. Yeah. Stupid.
Anyway.
Stupid.
That's what we've been talking all week. Why are they playing that thing at Maryland?
But 384, that's proof in the pudding.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. The Nebraska men's basketball team going back to Sioux Falls. I don't know what is the tie to Sioux Falls that we had, that we keep going back up to Sioux Falls to play a regular season game in a 3,200-seat facility. I'm not familiar with what the tie is, but this is going to be our 5th trip up to Sioux Falls to play in the Pentagon. Last year we beat Oklahoma there in a great game. I remember that. I was coming home from someplace and listening to it on the radio. Nebraska beat Oklahoma 105-99. I think it went to double overtime. Anyway, they played this thing in the Pentagon in Sioux Falls, and now we're going to be back up to the first piece of the 2026-2027 schedule has been announced, with Nebraska playing Boise State at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls. Boise State is a team we saw in the college basketball crown in the semifinals. We beat them in 2024, beat them 79-69. So we're going to play again, this time at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls during the early portion of the 26-27 men's college basketball schedule. I think the women were up there as well last year, so we'll see if the Nebraska women will follow the guys up to Sioux Falls again. The 5th time since 2018 that Nebraska will play at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls.
I hope that we get a different hotel this time. If you remember the hotel shenanigans, the fire alarm was pulled last time we were up there, and I think the guys, they said, like Hoiberg said, they got like 2 hours of sleep. So maybe we change hotels this time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go back to the same one.
Also, we could touch on this before we get to our news break here. We got Jim Schleicher, of course, coming your way at 7:30 with the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. What's going on with NASCAR, dude? They have a disaster at Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen is a road course up in New York. Obviously, from the pictures I've seen, they've had nothing but a monsoon this week. And people are trying to pull in for the weekend, get their campers situated. I thought we had a bad time in Kansas.
Uh-huh.
No, we're not even close to what they're dealing with at Watkins Glen this week. They're trying to get
this used to be like a midsummer race, right?
Yep.
And now it's in early May.
Yeah, and people are not happy with it. But I saw this morning NASCAR has made an announcement that they're going to move next year's race into September. So NASCAR moved it early, and they go, oops, this is not working out well.
Hell, September, that's the postseason.
It used to be in August, is what I read this morning. It used to be a race in August. So they moved it now to May, and oops.
That was a mistake.
This is not very smart. We don't have very many people here. Let's move this back, and they got it worked out that they're going to now race in September at Watkins Glen next year.
Is that part of the postseason?
I think it is.
Oh, that's not cool.
I don't know. What's his face will be happy with it.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, I guess, again, I have long defended road courses in NASCAR, telling these NASCAR drivers if they want to be crowned Cup champions that they should learn at least how to make a right turn. But then I watched a road course race with fantasy implications on the line, and then I kind of started to see why y'all hate road courses.
Yeah.
Because, these drivers suck at road courses.
Yeah. There's a handful of them that are pretty good. The rest of them just try to manage without getting in the way or getting in a wreck. Anyway, yeah, Watkins Glen is a mess this weekend. They're still going to race, so make sure you get your fantasy lineup in.
It's going to race in the rain, on the road. Of course.
Yep. All right, waking up with Mike.
Jesus, throw darts.
Amber's already chiming in. This weekend was supposed to be the Kansas weekend. Mm-hmm. They moved the schedule around this year. We've already had Kansas a couple of weeks ago when I was down there. And now they put Watkins Glen in replace of Kansas. Yeah, this has been a great weekend in Kansas. If they would just left the damn schedule alone, We'd be in Kansas this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Bright, sunshiny skies, 80 degrees, toes
nice.
out in the grass.
Chiefs chiming in. Feelings mutual. Aaron Rodgers, stay home. Black hole's calling you back. Like, nobody's excited to get gifted Aaron Rodgers again. It's like, here, let's roll him back out.
No, I am.
You are on an island, my friend. You are on an island.
I was on an island last year.
You are still on the island this year.
I was on the island last year.
You found a few coconuts on your island, but you were on an island.
Pittsburgh signed him. I liked the move. Led the Steelers to playoffs. What more do you want?
Getting you Aaron Rodgers jersey for Christmas.
What more do you want? Led you to the playoffs.
Get you the ugly Green Bay Packers throwback Aaron Rodgers jersey with like the yellow and black that go down.
Yeah, we're reuniting with Mike McCarthy this year at Pittsburgh.
Get you a ball cap.
Anyway, expect some Aaron Rodgers news that maybe come out of the sports scene maybe this weekend. He's making a visit. He's come out of the black hole, and he's going to visit rookie mini camp in the Pittsburgh this weekend, although he don't have a contract with the Steelers yet. So, all right, 7:26, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. You got something you'd like to discuss? Go ahead. Give us a call. 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you'd like to leave us a message on our social media sites, we're monitoring those comments as well. Anyway, it's a Friday morning, waking up with Mike and Tyson on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Top story, Give Hastings Day, a record. Hang on, I'm going to get Jim on the line here, and then I'll go to the news. So hit that button. Okay. Jim's on the line and ready to go after the news break. A record-shattering day for Give Hastings Day with just over $1.2 million that was raised for area nonprofits during the 24-hour Give Hastings Day event. The amount represents a new record for the event, which has been going strong since 2014. Hastings Public Library received the most funds of the participating nonprofits with over $130,000 raised. $1.2 million for Give Hastings Day. Kudos to all in the community. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, my blood was boiling yesterday. A major cybersecurity attack disrupted Canvas learning management system that is used by colleges and universities across the state and across the entire country. University of Nebraska said all 4 of their campuses experienced outages during finals week, with similar impacts reported at Hastings College, CCC, and Creighton University. Officials say hackers may have accessed names, email addresses, student ID numbers, and messages, though no evidence suggests that passwords or financial information was compromised. The Canvas parent company Instructure says the most systems are now back online, and the investigation into the cause is ongoing. 7:28, we'll head back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, the Nebraska baseball team will play their final home series of the regular season this weekend as they battle Iowa at Haymarket Park. Huskers are 34-14 in the season, 17-7 in the conference. Hawkeyes are 29-18, 12-12 in the league. Tonight's game gets underway at 6. The Nebraska softball team beat Michigan 4-2 yesterday in the Big Ten Conference Tournament in College Park, Maryland. Samantha Bland and Emerson Cope had 2 hits apiece. Cope had a home run. Bland had a double. Jordy Fromm grabbed the win in the circle, throwing a complete game, allowing 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. Nebraska is now 44-6 on the season and will play Indiana in the semifinals today at 4. The Hoosiers beat Washington 4-2 yesterday. In the other games, Wisconsin defeated Oregon 11-9, and UCLA beat Penn State 6-1. Wisconsin will play UCLA at 6:30 tonight, and the winners will play for the championship on Saturday at 3. Alexis Jensen of Nebraska has been named a top 10 candidate for the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association Freshman of the Year. The list was narrowed down from the original top 25, which was announced on April 23rd. Jensen is 21-2 in the circle this year with a 2.72 earned run average. She has struck out 185 batters while allowing only 31 walks. At the plate, she is hitting .333 with 6 homers and 4 doubles with 17 RBIs. The 3 finalists will be announced on May 20th, and the winner will be revealed on May the 26th. Adams Central got by Fort Calhoun 6-5 yesterday in the first round of the C6 District Baseball Tournament out at Duncan Field. Cohen Rader pitched 3 innings of scoreless relief for the Patriots. Rader struck out 8 and allowed only 2 hits. Adams Central had only 2 hits themselves, but took advantage of 9 walks. Adams Central is 22-6 on the season. They'll play Guardian Angels Central Catholic West Point Beamer in the finals today. The Patriots beat Takema Herman yesterday 5-0. First pitch will be at 4. We'll have the game on Extreme Sports beginning with a pregame at 3:45 this afternoon. Season is over for the Hastings High baseball team. The Tigers lost to Elkhorn North yesterday 13-0 in the first round of B3 district tournament. Tigers were out hitting the game 10-1. Peyton Drake was the losing pitcher. Hastings ends the season at 9-16. Sports Today is brought to you by Bamboo Mind and Body Spa, America's first 24-hour holistic wellness center, located at 208 South Burlington in Hastings or in Blue Hill. Time for a check on your weather at 7:32 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Warm weather arrives just in time for the weekend and sticks around next week as well. Today we'll have a high of 76, partly sunny skies overnight tonight. We'll have mostly clear skies with a low of 47. Close to 80 degrees on Saturday. It'll be a little breezy, southwest winds 10 to 15 with gusts in the mid-20s. Mostly sunny with the chance of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms as well. Saturday night will continue a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a low of 46, and close to 70 on Sunday with plenty of sunshine.
As you wake up, get going this morning, northeast winds at about 4. We've got clear skies, and it's 49 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Looking for the perfect way to spend your Friday night in Hastings? Head just east of town on J Street and experience the excitement of Cam Raceway. Every Friday night through August, Cam Raceway brings you a full evening of grassroots racing on Nebraska's fastest 8th-mile dirt track. You'll see it all. Stock non-wing micros, restricted micros, junior sprints, junior cage karts, adult flat karts, and junior flat karts. Catch all the local drivers, all competing for the win under the lights. Gates open at 7 p.m. and racing gets underway at 8 p.m. And the best part, admission is just $10, and kids 12 and under get in free with a paying adult. So this Friday night, skip the routine and make your way to Cam Raceway, where the engines fire up, the dirt flies, and the whole family can enjoy a night at the races.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at Hamilton is Business.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Will and Tyson Vronic with you as Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Friday. Again, high school district baseball coming up for you today at 4 o'clock from Duncan Field. Adams Central playing Guardian Angels Central Catholic West Point Beamer. It's going to be the Patriots against the Patriots today. 4 o'clock will be the first pitch on the air with the pregame show at 3:45 this afternoon. Join us for Adams Central Baseball right here.
You can get clever and call it the Civil War.
God.
Sorry.
Maybe I'll use that.
Maybe
I won't. Anyway, it's a Friday morning, and let's talk ponies, shall we?
They're at the post. Now they're moving into the gate. They're off the train.
And down the Sexley come in the Kentucky Derby, and Barbaro is running away. It's Edgar Prado aboard, and Barbaro is going to win this Derby by 6 lengths. Bluebest had second. From far back, Steppenwolf came on to be third.
Friday morning, we always like to bring in Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network to talk ponies, not only on the Nebraska scene, but nationally. Fauner Park has wrapped up their live racing schedule for this season, but there's still plenty to talk about. So we wanted to bring Jimmy on here this morning to talk some ponies with us. Jimmy, good morning.
Morning, guys. It's a great weekend with racing again.
Yeah, we're going to be talking some races, but let's put a recap on Fauner Park to get things underway here this morning. I think a good meet for the folks at Fauner Park. I'm kind of sad to see the ponies move on. It's always nice to have them around and the racing fans around, but I think all in all, a pretty good racing meet for Fauner Park in GI. Would you agree with that?
It was. It was one of the best meets that we've had post-COVID. And when we're talking post-COVID, we're talking about a little bit of difference in handle because we were the only tracks that was out there during COVID. So the national spotlight was on the little track that could. But our numbers were up. The attendance was fantastic. The number of participants, fantastic again this year. Nebraska racing appears to be really growing, and looking forward to seeing what happens in the next few years.
Jimmy, as we kind of take a look and run over the season standings, if you will, one of the things that I think caught your attention, and let's touch up on it a little bit, owner Mark Hibden. He was just shy of hitting the $400,000 mark, and he had a miraculous meet at Fauner Park this season. What's in the water for the Hibden horses? What's the key to success, do you think, from his barn?
Well, Mark's got a good group of horses that fit in well with the condition books in Nebraska here. He's got anywhere from $2,500 claimers to stakes horses. So he's able to run a lot of horses. He's able to enter a lot of races that way. He had 204 starters this year, had 35 wins out of that, but Mark owns all of his own horses that he trains except for one. And so when he's totally into this, they're his babies to take care of. He He manages them very well, and yes, he did have $399,913 in earnings at Faunter Park as an owner, and that should easily establish a new record. And who knows, with our purses growing, we could see that eclipse next year, because he'll be back again with a big string of horses, and he easily outfinished second place, which is another fantastic owner group with Izzy Gonzalez, and his horses earned $147,000. But you see the difference there. It's huge. And like I said, Mark has grown his from a grassroots effort that started down in Texas when he had just one horse. And, now he's got a whole barn full, and they're doing well.
Jimmy, what about like the jockey and trainer standings? That all fair out at Faunter this year?
Well, in the jockey standings, we've seen Jose Medina take the title. He had 54 wins from 239 starts. His horses earned $564,000. Second place, Travis Cunningham. Third was Alex Berzer. Both those guys had 33 and 35 wins, very respectable. Like for Alex, he missed a few weeks. He took off and went to Prairie Meadows at the end of the meet, and so he missed a few mounts there. He also come in a week late, coming up from Louisiana. But overall, we had a good group of jockeys. We actually had 24 different jockeys ride at Faunter Park this year, which is up from the past. We had about 15 that rode regularly. So, like I said, we're starting to see the increases in numbers there. If we jump over to the trainer standings, obviously, number one trainer, Mark Hibden, a little over $400,000 in earnings. Second place was Izzy Gonzalez. Third place is a local, Marvin Johnson. Marvin Johnson come in with about $280,000 in earnings. So very, very good numbers there. What I thought was really interesting is we had 61 different trainers at Faunter Park this year start a horse. So you see the number of people that this involves in racing. And of those 61 trainers, there were 616 different horses that ran at least one race at Faunter Park. So when you start putting these numbers together, you see that things are, like I said, increasing. It needs to increase more. An interesting fact that we've seen lately is we look at all the racetracks across the United States. We see possible closures on the East Coast. We see possible racetrack closures on the West Coast. But what do we see in the Midwest? We're starting to see a building surgence of tracks. Wyoming's opened up new tracks. Kansas is going to start racing this year. So the need to get horses in the Midwest is going to be a trying time, and so that's where we need to see the breeding numbers starting to increase and ownership increasing in the Midwest.
And now we take this Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing show on the road as they go from their start at Faunter Park. They'll head next stop is going to be Lincoln, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in seasons past, we see a lot of the familiar names, a lot of the same horses, trainers, jockeys, and everything basically just kind of moves from one location to another. Is that going to be a case again this year?
That will be the case, and something that we'll see is Lincoln is racing against the same time that Prairie Meadows over in Des Moines, Iowa is racing, but they're close enough together that you'll see trainers like Mark Hibden. You'll see different owner trainer groups that'll be shipping back and forth between the two tracks. So that'll actually probably help each other out because they are close in proximity, so that they don't have to worry about, hey, I only have horses that fit at one track. They're close enough that they can separate their barns and go back and forth and have a good meet. So, yeah, Legacy Downs will start next Saturday. First post time's 1:30, and they will run through June 14th and be running on Saturdays and Sundays, and should be a good meet over there. Sounds like some of the same jockeys will be over there as well.
All right, so beginning next Friday, we'll be talking ponies with Jim about what's going on in Lincoln. So if you're a follower of the horse racing circuit here in Nebraska, we'll still have all the latest information for you right here on Extreme Sports each and every Friday. Of course, you got simulcast racing. You can go up to Fodder and still bet the ponies in Lincoln. So we'll keep Jimmy around for the next couple of months to keep you up to date on the horse racing scene here in the state of Nebraska. What about the Derby last week, Jimmy? What's your thoughts on the Kentucky Derby last week?
Well, I think if I really take a look at it, I'm going to say the probability that the best horse didn't win. I give Golden Tempo tons of respect, but if you look at the problems that Renegade had and starting out of the one hole and stuff, when you put 20 horses in a field, there's things that are going to happen, or I guess 18 after a couple scratches, but Renegade had so many problems. He got stuck along the rail, etc. But overall, I think the cream did rise to the top with the first 3 or 4 horses in there. So now we're going to see him come back with the Preakness, and we had 18 horses in the Derby. We'll have 14 probable starters in the Preakness, but we're missing most of our Derby runners, and so it's going to be a total change of race here, and also a change of venue. As normally the Preakness Stakes is run at Pimlico Downs. Pimlico's going through a total remake, just like Belmont is up in New York, and so therefore this time the Preakness is actually going to be run at Laurel Park, also there in close proximity, and so that's going to change the perplexity a little bit too.
And Jimmy, Mike and I have been talking this week, and of course the expected news came out from Charlie DeVoe yesterday that Derby winner Golden Tempo would not be participating in the Preakness. There will be no Triple Crown. This is the 6th time in 8 years that a Derby winner has not run in the following race, and as horse racing fans that Mike and I are, we're not behind the scenes. We're not experts on anything. We don't do with schedules or anything like that. It would appear from the fan perspective that it just loses so much buzz with there's not a opportunity for a Triple Crown. Is there discussions amongst the heads of horse racing to potentially push this back, to give horses more of an opportunity to get their rest so that they can run and get some more excitement built up for the Triple Crown? Is that on the table?
It is on the table. Personally, I have mixed reviews on that. If you're a Triple Crown winner, you have proven that you are the best and under some diverse conditions. Your training leading up to it. Within 5 weeks, you've run 3 grueling races against some of the best horses, not only in the nation anymore, but in the world. And if you can come out a Triple Crown winner, you deserve the accolades. When you start spreading the races out, it is better for the horses, though. And that's the whole thing. Owners, trainers get together. They might win the Derby, and they're going, let's skip the Preakness. It's best for the horse. And that's what we should be talking about is the safety and welfare of the horse itself. Running them too much, too often is really hard on the horses. And you look at what this industry is doing. There was a horse the other day that just sold for $10.5 million, an unraced horse. And so you see the value of these horses. And so when you win the Derby and you're trying to come back 2 weeks later, you can compromise your horse. And, we're looking at the potential value not of winning the race, but in the breeding shed, what these horses are worth. And owners and trainers just aren't willing to take the chance anymore like they used to get that accolade.
All right, so Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us each and every Friday to talk ponies. So the Derby is in the books, and now we get ready for the next leg, so to speak. Jimmy, you start doing your homework on the next race now?
I have been. One, we're going to have to see just who's in the field. You can kind of get some preliminary things out there. You can start looking and see who's the speed horses, who can carry the distance, even though we're shortening up from the Derby, but we're throwing new horses in. Is it going to look like there's so much speed? Do we start looking for an off-the-pace horse? Things like that. We can start narrowing it down. You can start eliminating a few horses, but until we see who the final 14 are in the gate, it's tough to make a decision there. And there's some really good horses still that are going to be running in this. We should have seen Silent Tactics and Great White in the Derby, but due to unforeseen circumstances, Great White gets out there, gets a little nervous, flips before the gate, has to be scratched. We look at Silent Tactics. Silent Tactics had a little bit of a foot injury, had a little bit of a bruise. They didn't want to take the chance in running him. He'll be back in the Preakness. We're also going to see like Crude Velocity that won the Pat Day Mile. We'll see Napoleon Solo, good horse coming back from last year. It was a 2-year-old. So it's still going to be a fantastic race to watch, a fantastic wagering opportunity, and it'll still create a lot of buzz. It's just not going to be a Triple Crown winner this year.
And we'll get all that buzz and predictions and even talk Lincoln next week here on the show. Jim Schleicher again from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. To stay up to date on all things in the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing scene, you can head over to the Facebook group. That is Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. It is a Facebook group. And join for all the insights and all the buzz that's going on around horse racing here across the state.
All right, Jimmy, have yourself.
One other thing I'd like to throw out there is this last Tuesday there was a big meeting at the Pryor Ranch in Omaha with Governor Pillen, a bunch of our local senators, and trying to brainstorm of what we can do to grow Nebraska racing, to get more funding. And we're not talking about increasing somebody's tax dollars or anything like that. But when we look at Nebraska racing and you see 616 horses, 61 trainers at Faunter Park, et cetera, the number of people it takes to care for all these horses, from veterinary care to feed to just hands-on day-to-day, and the tens of millions of dollars that this industry is. And so it was a great brainstorming day to try to come up with some new ideas and some new ways to get people into the industry, get more horses in here, to see the purses rise to attract more people, grow the number of days of racing. And so it was a pretty good symposium there with the governor and some of the senators, and there'll be things to talk about coming up that hopefully come out of this meeting that took place on Tuesday at the Pryor Ranch there in Omaha.
All right, Jimmy, enjoy your weekend off, so to speak. We'll get back together again next Friday, talk some ponies in Lincoln and elsewhere. Have yourself a great week, my man.
Thank you, guys, and we're looking forward to next Friday.
All right, Jim Schleicher from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us each and every Friday. Again, you can go to his Facebook group and get the latest on the ponies, not only around here, but anything else that might pop up on the scene. 7:53, waking up with Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, Nebraska baseball is going to be at home this weekend, one final time during the regular season. Nebraska playing a 3-game series this weekend with the Iowa Hawkeyes at Haymarket Park. Game number 1 of the 3-game series coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. The Huskers, they struggled offensively in their series last week with Ohio State. And that's what we talked with Will Bolt about yesterday, the head coach for the Huskers. And Will just says you got to trust the process offensively.
It was not a good weekend offensively. I have given Ohio State a ton of credit because I feel like it's due for them. They played very, very well. And their scouting was very good. I mean, they had their guys positioned. We just didn't get, they didn't give us any defensive stuff at all. They didn't walk us. We didn't get many hit by pitch. They were in the right place at the right time, and they had some breaks go their way, and we didn't have anything fall in. There just was no cheap anything over the course of the whole weekend. There was a lot of hard ground balls that maybe have been hits for us this year that were outs. And I think I've spoken to the high batting average ball in play that we've had this year. Maybe it's one of those weekends where it kind of evened out. A lot of those hard ground balls were outs this weekend where they had been hits. So certainly we could have done some things differently situationally and been better in those spots, but it's not wholesale change time for a team that's been so good all year to look at it that way. Now, can I push some different buttons in terms of the lineup construction? Maybe. You know, I didn't like the way that Friday played out, having, you know, when we pinch hit for Fikes late, I had to put Jeter in. Mike and Miller's unavailable right now to play. So I lost my DH, and that spot came up to end the game. You know, so that little stuff like that, when you don't win, it gets kind of magnified.
As we look ahead to the series with Iowa, the coach says he sees a similar team as his own team. Nebraska and Iowa pretty similar.
There's a lot of similarities there between the two teams, the two lineups, the balance, the speed, the ability to move the ball when you need to, and you know, a little bit of thump in there as well. So, I think in a lot of ways it'll be very similar, you know, for our pitchers. You know, they've got some veteran hitters in their lineup, and they'll fight you for every pitch, you know, and that's what got our pitching staff ready for the season this year, was that they faced our guys, and that's what our guys were doing.
And the coach also talked about a plan that kind of snuck up and snuck through the scene here. They've announced the plans for a new $5.5 million renovation there at Haymarket Park. That's going to deal with upgrades for both the baseball and softball teams. And Will Bolt talked about the improvements there that's planned for the ballpark.
It's been a long time coming since Darren Erstad was the head coach. I mean, I remember when I got hired, he's like, hey, we got these renderings of some stuff that we want to do here. And, you know, and then you have turnover in leadership and, you know, COVID and all those things. So this is not just like a reaction to like the kind of the past year or two. This goes back 8-10 years, you know. So I've credit Troy and Courtney big time with this deal, because it's, you know, when you've got another entity here with the Salt Dogs that you're working with, you've got to have a sound relationship, and everybody's got to be on the same page, and there's got to be some give and take when it comes to those things. And when Troy got here and he walked through here, he's like, this is not acceptable for, you know, what you guys are trying to do, let alone what you're already doing with what we see. He's like, we're going to have to. It's like, well, this has been a conversation for a long time. He goes, I understand. So it's just going to, again, a locker room doesn't, like, you know, maybe in the past, recruiting-wise, like you could walk a kid through and go, look, we have a sweet locker room, and that would be like, oh, I'm going to go to Nebraska. We know what kind of drives the conversation now, and it's a little different than that. But the player amenities that we're going to have will be top-notch in terms of recovery, in terms of the development piece from nutrition, and having that housed here. That's a difference maker, especially for a developmental program. Like, I think here in the middle of the country, that's what we are. We have to develop our players, and so this is just going to be another piece of that puzzle. And it's going to be a meeting room where we can use our technology and we can all sit in the same room. And when we have some different things that we need to talk about, we've got a meeting room, and we can watch video, and we'll have a hot and cold tub for the first time, believe it or not, in the facility. You know, so stuff that maybe you take for granted, that we just haven't had access to unless we went across the street. So yeah, very thankful for it. Going to be a major boost, and it's going to help us. It's going to help us make our players better. And I also think that when a kid will walk through here with his parents, they'll say, okay, we've got the Gordon facility. We do have a beautiful stadium to play in, and now I've got the ability to kind of make sure that I'm enhancing my nutrition and some of those things, and my recovery right here in this facility. That'll be something that'll be a difference maker.
All right, that's Will Bolt, Husker head coach, getting ready for Iowa this weekend and taking a look at some improvements there at Haymarket Park. Waking up with Mike and Tyson this morning. It's a Friday, 7:59.
You could sit at home this weekend, or you could be 350 feet above the North Loop River Valley with a glass of wine in hand. At Miletta Vista Winery, we've got the view, the food, and the wine to make the drive worth it. Lunch, dinner, or small plate appetizers, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. No stress, no rush, just a better way to spend your time. Miletta Vista Winery. Come and see what you've been missing. Miletta Vista Winery, St. Paul, Nebraska. Let us know you're coming. 308-754-4416.
Conant Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Conant Auto Care is here for you.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high speed, dirt slinging, adrenaline pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
Yeah, they're racing at Camp Raceway tonight at Hastings. So if you'd like to check out the action, can't make it in person, you can check out the live racing action. We'll be streaming all the action of Camp Raceway tonight. Just go to our website at x-streamsports.com. Go to the top of the page and kind of click on up there, Camp Raceway. You'll find it, kind of follow the links, and we'll get you the live racing action tonight. It's Cam Raceway. Following baseball this afternoon. West Point, what is it? It's going to be Guardian Angels.
It's the Patriots and the Patriots.
Yeah, it's going to be a long name today. Adams Central playing Guardian Angels Central Catholic, West Point Beamer.
Mm-hmm.
I got to come up with something on that before the action today. I can't be saying that every single
Beamer.
time.
Just say Beamer.
No, because that's not correct.
It doesn't matter.
Do I just say West Point?
Again, is Guardian Angels Central Catholic West Point Beamer paying our bills today?
I don't know, but I want to be correct. I got to be correct.
You can abbreviate. It's okay.
Just say Beamer?
Just say Beamer.
Because
if you say the Patriots, you're going to confuse the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, but I can't just say the Patriots because it's going to be the Patriots against the Patriots. Could be a confusing broadcast today.
Beamer.
Not only for the fans that listen, but for the guy who's doing the game.
Just say Beamer.
Just say Beamer?
Beamer.
The PA guy was saying the whole thing yesterday.
The PA guy can do whatever the PA guy wants to do.
So I'm just supposed to say Beamer? Adams Central is playing Beamer?
Or look for as many opportunities as you can to not say their name.
You can't do that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've got a few hours. I got to figure this out because that's a long name to say each and every time. Hell, they might have 3 batters in by the time I announce the team name. That's a long name. Guardian Angels Central Catholic, West Point Beamer. I can't say that every time they come
You
up.
can mix and match it. Say Guardian Angels one time, Beamer another time, West Point another time.
I put them in a rotation.
Put them in a rotation basis.
I could do that.
The consolidation.
I like just Guardian Angels.
Guardian?
Because that's in West Point. That's what they used to be called. Guardian Angels. I'll figure out something. Anyway, 4 o'clock starting time today, 3:45 pregame show. Adams Central playing in the finals of the district tournament today. The winner moves on to the state tournament that gets underway next Saturday in Omaha. If Adams Central happens to lose this game, they would still have a chance to maybe qualify as a wild card team. They're sitting number 6 in the overall point standing. So if worst came to worst, we can maybe hope for some help. I wouldn't want to put my stake into that. There's 6 district champions that are going to be crowned.
Yep.
Then 2 wild cards in each class. So
Mm-hmm.
You never want to hinge your.
No, I don't like to scoreboard watch.
No.
Just take care of business and
go out
yeah,
and
just win. My only, you have the conundrum of figuring out how to say Guardian Angel Central Catholic West Point Beamer. I don't know what side my tassel's supposed to go on when I'm walking in the procession with the rest of the faculty today. I think I'm just going to put the tassel in the back.
You can't put your tassel in the back.
Maybe put like the tassel in the front, hang like a little ice cream cone on it. Like putting the carrot in front of the horse, put the ice cream cone in front of the fat guy. I'll put the tassel in front with some ice cream.
No, you got to figure out that.
I got to figure it out. I don't know if it's left or right. I always forget. I guess I haven't had to worry about it in 20 years. So
yeah, you need to Google that. As a faculty member, maybe it's different.
You flip it to the other side because you've already graduated, right?
Yeah,
and then the graduates get to flip it and then be with the rest of us.
Yeah, as a faculty guy, maybe your tassel is supposed to be somewhere else.
I think I'm just gonna get into the locker room and be like, all right, it's been a while, guys. What side's my tassel supposed to be on?
Help me out.
Help me.
I've been guiding you for the past year or so.
Also,
Help me
can you
out.
tie a tie?
I don't want to. Do you have to wear a tie and stuff?
You don't have to, but it's
You
graduation.
Are you going to?
Probably not.
I've never seen you in a tie.
I don't even know where my ties are.
If you need one, I can probably find
That's
one
okay.
in my closet.
You just worry about West Point Beamer, Guardian Angel Central Catholic.
I will have baseball later on today.
Right side.
If you'd like to listen to the show again, listen to Will Bolt, listen to Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. You can just download the podcast off of our social media sites and listen to the show at your convenience. So anyway, have yourself a great weekend, everyone. And we'll catch you back here again Monday morning at 7 on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.